So I got a very important message I want to talk about right now. It's a metaphor. Now let's start with the concrete before I explain the application, the ripple effects. So I'm sure we've all been here where you're driving around. Maybe you're late for work as it is, or maybe it's the afternoon, and you got still got a lot of stuff to do and you get stuck behind a school bus. Stop after stop after stop, and you're like, wow, this road feels so much longer than any road than it's ever felt like before. And then you start to calculate in your mind the amount of time that you spend stuck behind this bus, like every 20 or 30 seconds when it stops, and all the kids are coming on and off and on and off, and you watch them away by, oh, goodbye, Jimmy, all the cute, and that's great, that's fine, that's beautiful, that's family, school, kids need an education, good for them. But you didn't plan this. You did not expect a bus would be on your route on the way to work this morning, and what if it's one of those days you're already late as it is? So you sit behind this, and all this extra time you have to sit and think and reflect about this time, coming into your day, delaying you that you did not expect. You have all this extra time to think, and you wonder, okay, eventually I'm going to turn this way or that way. I hope that bus doesn't turn this way or that way too, right? And so here's the metaphor. This message is about momentum. So in life, you see where I'm going with this now? In life, we have dreams we want to achieve, we have things we want to accomplish. Now, I've been thinking about this for a long time, the concept of momentum, and I'm very glad that I have a really good metaphor now. Some people that I listen to here on YouTube, like Eddie Pinero, Your World Within, and some other people, I really appreciate their ability to take common basic concepts and make them into messages, into meanings. Like he has this one about not leaving sink in the dishes. So when I actually left the sink in the dish, it reminds me of that message. So it's a really good reminder. It's really good. So I'm just gonna put this out there. Maybe next time you get stuck behind a bus, you remember this video. Maybe you have so much time stuck in traffic, you come back and find it. Come back to your toolbox for the mind. So this is what I want to talk about is momentum. Because there's a lot of things we want to accomplish in life. And for years I've been witnessing how I lose momentum and how I gain momentum. And for me, I'm more aware of the things that affect my momentum. And as much as I love other people and appreciate them, in my life, I've past 2 weeks I've noticed as I've been working a lot on some other projects that I have an ability to focus. And that's a mind state I've been trying to find since I first wrote this book when I was 18 years old as a freshman in college, and I just turned 36. That was half my life ago. That's weird. That's weird. I really gotta get the rest of the. I'm currently writing book six of Toolbox for the Mind, um, but I've only put out one, so I am revising that first one. I love the others, but half my life ago I wrote this book, and where was I going with this? Oh yeah, often I've looked back at what type of mind state it took. There I was, a freshman in college. I had all the time in the world. Always wanted to write a book in high school, and I, finally had some free time. Come college, I'm doing my Tai Chi, some meditation, getting very super focused. My sound therapy, my music therapy, 100%. My entire life was an experiment. I'm like, I can do everything I want to do. So I made my first album, a breakthrough, and I made my first book, Toolbox for the Mind. And I will, when I re-release Toolbox for the Mind, it will be bundled with my breakthrough album, and I'm gonna call it the 2006 flashback. That's is gonna package deal because a lot of the messages in the album, they kind of echo the messages of Toolbox for the Mind. I wrote this at the same time in my life, the album and the book, But for so many years since, I'd listen to my Breakthrough album or read parts of Toolbox for the Mind, and I'm like, how did I do that? How Sometimes, most of the time, you're thinking it's impossible that I even get my consciousness back to how it used to be. Like, I listened to the lyrics on Breakthrough, and I'm like, how did I come up with that? Stuff's deep, that's heavy, that's good. I don't have that in me again. But then there was like, how do I find it? And I finally figured it out. And it is a state. Yes, a lot of it's lifestyle, and the college lifestyle is supreme for being able to accomplish things that you can't when you're stuck in the working world. So I had to stop blaming my adult situation. I had to stop blaming working all the time, or a family, or this and that. I had to stop blaming basic life situations that are demanding, and say, because I'm not in my rhythm, I'm not exercising my brain as much, going to classes, and the outlet is in the books and the music. You can't give yourself excuses. But still, it was, how do I get back to that mindset? And I finally figured out a few weeks ago, and I'm so glad. And what it was it's a state of focus. I get into a state of focus that I was in for most of my college journey. And that focus is how do you find it? And part of that is caffeine and tea, but another part of it is focusing and doing what you need to do. When you start working on things you love in life, that creative juice, those energies, that there's a lot of momentum in that. There's a lot of potency. You're revving up. Imagine, like, pretend you're like on a road out west where there's no cars in sight. There's no turns. It's all flat for as long as you can see. I mean, in some countries, they actually do this, go 100 miles or more. Now, I'm not saying by any means do an actually physically dangerous thing, but how do we get our mind to be like, boom, that car that you can't stop? How do we make our mind a jet engine that can soar, that can max out beyond 500 miles an hour? Just boom, like a fighter jet, like whatever the fastest plane is that man has made right now. How do we get our mind to be like that? And that's with focus, and that's with momentum. So once the momentum starts picking up, you don't lose it. You don't let things drag you down. And there's a lot of things that will drag us down. And so now think of this as a boat, right? What kind of things are putting holes in your boat? Because you have to plug that immediately. Every second that you don't plug a hole in that boat, you're going to sink. So, if there are ways to avoid things, then let's make a funny metaphor, add to this. Say there's like, you guys remember Sonic the Hedgehog, Dr. Robotnik? Remember that bird with the big nose that was robotic? Lack of a better example, pretend that one of those is on your ship and it's drilling holes through your boat, walking around, putting his big nose, drilling holes, or was it a chicken, whatever it was, but it had a big pointy nose and it was a robot. So imagine that's going around. Wouldn't you want to get this robot off your boat? Doesn't it make sense to go grab that chicken by the neck, drag it up to the top, and throw it overboard? Now, this one is about people that might not be good influences in your life. Maybe it's a job that, your boss doesn't treat you well, and there's not a lot of positive energy in your daily environment. And if it is a living situation, I'm sorry to be the one to have to break this to you. If you haven't realized this already, and hopefully your loved ones, friends, and family have pointed out to you that you're in a toxic relationship or things like that, but you need to change something about your life and about your situation. Toxic people can't be saved. If it gets to a point where you advocate for yourself and they don't listen to you, if it gets to a point where maybe they yes you and they still don't change, or maybe even if they sincerely try, if they're actually trying, then there's hope. But if it becomes clear that this person is not trying, they're not going to change, don't try to change them. That's a common rule. Don't try to change anyone. Accept the fact that people are going to be as they are no matter what. If they do change, if a miracle happens, great. There's hope. But in the meantime, you need to do what's good for you. So you need to create a positive environment as often as you can. Look at your week. What's your work environment? What's your home environment? What's your school environment? Maybe you need to change some classes. Maybe you need to ask the guidance counselor or someone else, hey, this teacher and I don't get along. They're very negative to me. They're not helping me. This teacher doesn't believe in me. Get what you need in life. Create the environment that you need. If you need to talk with someone at school, if you're in middle school or high school watching this, get what you need. If a teacher does not believe in you, if they're condescending, if it's negative, if you're trying as hard as you can and you still can't get that A, if they're deliberately sabotaging you, change it. Make a better life for yourself. So with work, for those of us who are adults, if you're not being treated appropriately, find a job where you will be. Get on Indeed. Put out your resume. See what's out there. It's a very competitive market. You'll probably find something better paying as well. And you're doing what's good for you. And this is what I'm talking about with momentum. How do we build the momentum that we need in this world? It's extremely very important. Surround yourself by positive people. Easier said than done, but it is possible and it's important. I'm grateful I was raised in a very positive family. Shout out to my father for doing that, and all of his kids were all very positive. My nieces and nephews, a lot of them have that positivity spirit. And that's something my dad pioneered in our DNA, and I'm very grateful for. Sometimes you have to overcome that resistance. And I hear this in my pep talks a lot. People talk about they had to cut out, maybe a parent for a while because they were just holding them back from their dreams. And I'm sad to hear this, that people have to go through that, but I'm also lucky I've always had, been able to talk with my dad for a little bit of, encouragement and motivation, that I was raised with the mindset. So parents out there, it's important. Raise your kids to be positive-minded, open-minded, to have some resiliency, to be able to overcome what you need to in life. What is it called? E.T. Eric Thomas, he has this mantra, I can, I will, I must, right? So work with your kids on that. Just the other day, my daughter and I playing a video game together, 2-player game. I think it's called Unravel 2 on Switch. And this one's really good for making you work on other things with yourself. And what it's about is you have to, in this game, you really have to learn to work together. Certain challenges, maybe I'd be like, okay, let me see your controller. But other times we have to do the right thing at the same time. So she'd be like, only 6. She'd be like, I can't do it. I'm like, no. So I bust out this mantra. And when I heard on my pep talk this morning, I'm like, I can't believe I made a 6-year-old repeat this during playing video games. But I'm going, no, Ava, this is how we do it. Don't say you can't. Say you can. I can. I will, I must. So we're playing Unravel 2. She's throwing that yarn, trying to make hooks, trying to swing herself. And I'm like, you can, you will. And she was doing it. I can, I will, I must. And it was the cutest thing. And I'm like, it's funny. I was making her say it. But that's where it's really important to me that she has the mindset that you can. And one of my favorite lifelong role models, God rest his soul, Jason David Frank. We lost him about a year ago. You can see on YouTube right here. He had a lot of posts and talks about you can. It comes out in a lot of his videos. I can. It's all about the mindset. You can. If you tell yourself you can't, you're going to limit yourself. Here come the excuses. If you tell yourself you can't. If you tell yourself you can, you keep your mind open. You're going to find what you need. You're going to be able to get what you need out of life and do it. And nothing's going to stop you. Because instead of, I can't, okay, not even try, it's I can. I can do it. Okay, I can do it. All right. My daughter playing the game. I can hook that. It's hard, but I can do it. Daddy says I can. And then it's, I will do it. I must do it. And it's, so shout out to Eric Thomas for that. And I hear that a lot on YouTube. I hope you do too. Yeah, his name, he goes by E.T. Talks to himself, refers to himself as E.T. a lot, Eric Thomas. And his life story is fascinating. Some of these people here on YouTube with their pep talks, the things they have to overcome in life to get to where they are. It's like, wow. But that's what forges the spirit, forges the fire. I know I've had a lot of detours, a lot of rants, but the main point I'm just bringing up is momentum. So once we start to succeed at something, once we start to prove to ourselves that we can accomplish something, that's going to be positive energy. That's going to be momentum. And you need to be at a place where whether people outside you say great job or don't believe in you, it doesn't matter, Wayne The Rock Johnson. It doesn't matter what other people say, because you need to say to yourself, I can, I will, I must. You need to tell yourself, I can do it. You need to believe in yourself. If no one else in the world does, still have you. Because the second you go from, I can't do it, I'm what they say, you're letting other people limit you. And who's going to break out of that cocoon, of that negative mindset? Who's going to shatter that? Who's the only person that can? It's you. It's you. So you got to make your own momentum. Every time you let someone tell you something negative and you take that to heart, that's another bus stop. That's another stop. And every time you believe in that and let them get to your head, especially people who deliberately try to hurt you, deliberately try to break you down and slow you down. There are a lot of haters. Sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's not. Taylor Swift said it best. Haters gonna hate, 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 hate. And it's very important that we don't let other people slow us down. Choose the route that doesn't have buses on it. If you're going that route at the wrong time of day, two different times out of the week, morning or afternoon, it's going to be a long time till you get that momentum back if you didn't have that unexpected set of obstacles in your way. So I also believe with, negative comments, and this is a big thing, and I hope, in the future this is more straightened out with social media. And I have some plans on how to do it too, but this is what's also very important, is someone you don't know, what Jason Dipford called the keyboard warriors, the internet bullies. They're gonna leave you comments. They got nothing better to do with their lives. They're gonna leave negative comments. If you take time out of your day to comment back, okay, maybe that's 10 15 seconds and you're like, oh yeah, well, trying to get even. Never stoop to that level. You know why? You notice how I said set of slowdowns, right? It's a set, because it's not just one thing. Because what's going to happen next? And this could be a text message. If someone sends you a nasty text message, if you text back, no, it's if it's important. If you can ghost the person, then ghost them. If you can't, then you have to figure some things out in your life. But notice, it's not just one reply. It's a set. It's a whole road of bus stops. Every 20 seconds is another stop, because one reply, one message leads to two, leads to three, leads to more. Over the course of your day, how many minutes and, God forbid, hours of your day did you spend wasting your time from someone instigating you, trying to get under your skin, just not being a nice human being? They're wasting their life. Fine. That's their choice. Don't let them waste you. One of my, not one of my favorite movies, but one of the favorite messages I've ever seen in a movie. It was, I think it was Chris Pratt. It was a space movie. And it had Morpheus. He was the guy who played Morpheus in The Matrix. And basically, please, if someone remembers the name, it's not coming to me right now. It's definitely on the tip of my tongue. Maybe start with a P, but it was a space movie. And so, if it was Chris Pratt as the leader, someone who looked like him, he's on a spaceship, and he's going to outer space, and everyone is in a deep sleep on this in the future. Everyone's on a deep sleep. and it was like maybe something happened to Earth and they're all like evacuating, whatever, something like that, or they're supposed to be on a mission, and so everyone is on this, on this spaceship that's running automatically on its own. Everyone is in a deep sleep in all these little pods and stuff. And for whatever reason, Chris Pratt's I'm sorry if that's not the actual actor name, just roll with me here for a second. Okay. Chris Pratt's space pod wakes up, something goes wrong, and he wakes up like decades before anyone else. And so it gets to a point where first it's all like, oh, no, we're on the spaceship, having so much fun, and then he gets lonely. And there's ways to see on the other pods that other sleep pods people are in, who they are, why they got on board. I think it's like maybe a mission to Mars or whatever it is, some different planet, but it's a long ride. And so he wakes up, and then he's lonely. So he's like, I'm gonna wake up someone else and pretend that I didn't. Blah blah blah. Not to ruin the plot. It's a great movie. Was it Parallels? I don't think so. Paradox. It's a great movie. When I do learn, I'll come back and drop it in the details here in the description of this file. So Chris Pratt wakes up. He wakes someone else, then runs and hides and pretends, oh wow, you woke up too? That's weird. Well, at least we can have so much fun, like all the stuff I found, And then when Morpheus comes into the movie, he has a very big message, and in this one, what struck me that really hit home, one of the best things I've ever learned in a movie, and Morpheus says, even a drowning man will drown someone else, right? And the point is, that person's already drowning. They're going to pull down other people because what else do they do? Nothing. They're already going down anyways. They're going to drag other people down. So it's this is a very big message. If other people are on, the highway to hell in a handbasket, don't let them pull you down. Misery loves company. People will instigate. Don't let anyone get under your skin. This is your opportunity to be like, oh yeah, if I go that road instead, I'm not going to lose my momentum. There's no buses going that way. So go that way. How do we get there? Not engaging, not responding. Let it go. Do something to get in your positive frame of mind. Funny story of a small inspiration behind this is on my fitness blog, Dragon Body Fitness. Is a brand I've been building. Toolbox is like a side project. Now, my main stream of income is, Dragon Body Fitness. And last week, my friend helped me film a series of Planet Fitness hacks. So, several different ways to use Planet Fitness equipment that people don't normally think about. And I discovered, we did that last week, and I discovered over the weekend someone had been trolling my account. And I looked at him, and clearly someone, very fit, a big muscle head, but he was not being nice. The first comment was like, okay, do you have a point or whatever? And maybe he had a point. But it's still, you don't have to say it like that, go about it like that. But then the next comment I found by him, he was clearly trying to be mean, trying to instigate me. And I looked at his Instagram profile, and he's trying to run a business. It's like, bro, how do you expect to build a business putting all this negativity out there? You don't know me. There's no way in hell I'm going to become a client to you or recommend other people to you. Not at all, Mr. Fitness number, whatever your name was. I don't care how big you are. You got a bad attitude, bro. You don't know how to respect other people. Anyways, I could have replied. I could have said, well, actually, I do feel benefit from these machines, or it's you can use the machine like that. But I chose not to engage. And have I thought of it a few times? Yes. But like I was saying, set of slowdowns. One reply. If I reply to his comment, what's going to happen? Then I'm going to have to be anxious about, okay, what if he comments back? Then it becomes a war. I'm a professional. He looks like he's trying to be a professional. So it's bro, like, get out of my story. You're banned for life. The internet version, I just blocked him. So funny. And I've let it go. And I'm glad. And So here's a little story how I've applied this recently. But look, this is what's really cool is earlier today, I got a comment. So, some of it that first when I said maybe he has a point, maybe he doesn't, I don't know. And when it's like, is he trying to be just a jerk or what? I don't know. But that same exact video, guess who commented on that video? Guess who else found that? Planet Fitness Corp. The gym itself. And what did they say? This changed the entire way I felt about that whole situation. Planet Fitness said, wow, we love this. Do you mind if we reshare this with our audience? And I'm like, oh, this is going to be good publicity, excuse me. I'm like, absolutely. Thank you for some recognition. And that completely shifted how I felt about my Planet Fitness hack videos and everything. And you know what? It completely changed the energy of the situation. So talk about momentum. And I love when stuff happens like that. I love it. And so that dude was trying to drag me down. Well, guess what? Go a new direction. Find that other road where no one can drag you down. You see what I did there? New direction. So yeah, but literally choose a new direction where no one can drag you down. And I didn't know Planet Fitness was gonna, recognize me and want to reshare that video. But I still did not let that meathead get in my brain, get under my skin. And this what Eddie Pinero in Your World Within talks about is, because he's had plenty of issues with, negative comments, whatever. And he goes, I just look at it and is there something to it? Is it not? And that's it. And is there value to it? Is there not? And that's smart. So I looked at it, okay, does he have a point or not? He's a little ignorant, but maybe he's not coming from a bad place. But then when I found that second comment, like, hey, this dude is literally just trolling me and bruh, get out of my story. You're banned for life. Blocked. And that's it. And I just wanted to take a couple minutes to sort of talk about momentum as it was, because negative energy is going to slow us down. Even if it revs us up, you can, get energy from that, but where's your head going to be at, right? My personal preference, my Tai Chi, you calm down, get to a good space, slow down, calm down. When you have to deal with other people, deal with it in a positive way, right? If you have to at all. See, I didn't waste any time replying to these comments, trying to prove myself. Why? Life's too precious. I'm trying to build a business here. There are oodles and oodles of things I have to do that will make money versus trying to vindicate myself off someone instigating me, deliberately trying to be a jerk. So I want you guys to start to recognize the people in life and the situations in your life when this begins to happen, so that you save time. This is another big message my dad talked to me about and really wanted me to understand is, how do we spend our energy, and is that going to slow us down? Because life is too precious. The time in the day is too short. Like you ever had that feeling where it's like, oh, I wish I had more time today? Time is too precious. It always adds up. We can't waste time. We can't let people slow us down. It's not worth it. Not worth it. I didn't get into it with that guy. And say someone meaningful to me in life sends me a message that isn't polite, or, maybe they're in a bad mood. I might read it. And this is another trick I do is I write a reply, but I let it save as a draft. I don't press send. And even if I go a few days without sending, when I wait until I'm in a better mood, a calm mood, clear head, and then I review it. Okay, so how can I edit this text message so my tone is out of it? So I'm just like, okay, what's the point? Do I have to state how I feel? Fine. But how can we become peacekeepers in resolving things in our life? So this video became a lot more than I wanted to talk about, but it's all relative to momentum. So basically, Start to look at the ways in life that you can choose that new direction where no one can drag you down, where you're going to be revving up positive energy. Because, like I was saying, I finally figured out how to get focused again. Took literally half my life, but I finally found it. And I'm so glad because now I can now I can be in the same spirit, the same mindset I was when I made Toolbox Online, the same mindset when I'm building my fitness business or hitting the music studio again. And doing stuff, because when you start creating something and you love what you're making, especially like when it's writing books or music about positive messages, that's your mission, that's your purpose in life. And there's so much positive energy, momentum that comes from that and that alone. So when you start to find that, go with that. And if that means not checking your phone for a few hours, if that means not going to hang out with someone, then get done what you need to get done. When you're in a more social mood, when you're less focused, that's my lesson right now, is realizing this is when I can spend time with other people. But when I'm in that mindset of getting it done, getting it all done, getting caught up and making it happen, that's the focus I've been looking for 18 years. 18 years trying to find that again. And I finally found it. So I got a lot of catching up to do. But this is just, can't say it's a quick message because I see it's already over a half hour. So I appreciate you bearing with me, listening. And if you got this far, maybe that means you're getting something out of this. So I appreciate you for listening. Definitely social media pages in its infancy. Toolbox for them, like none of this existed when I was, writing this stuff in college. And like I said before, otherwise I never would have written a book, because I could have just hopped on Twitter, Instagram, and put those sentences as posts. And the book never would have came to be. So in a way, everything works out for a reason. And now I'm making the YouTubes, getting it caught up. And when there is the newer edition, excuse me, this guy, a little hiccup thing going on. When the newer edition comes out, that'll be available. And so, yeah, I hope this message has served you well. And please try to look at the things in life that are slowing you down. And I'd really appreciate it if you could drop a comment in here or hit me up on Instagram if you want to have a conversation. Great. I write books to have conversations, to share my ideas and learn your ideas, because then I learn more. And so feel free to hit me up on Instagram at Toolbox for the Mind. I'll put that in the description too. Or leave a comment here if you want to discuss it publicly. Share any of your slowdowns, any of your new directions that you found. What momentum looks like for you. What setbacks look like for you. What slowdowns. How you avoided slowdowns. And how you stay in that state of momentum and really get stuff done. I'd love to hear about it. And if you don't mind, open up the community discussion. Please drop it in the comments below this video. And, like I said, I will, do my best to try to delete the trolls, ban them from, because I don't need negativity in my life. Who's with me? Come on. Everyone's raising their hand. All right. Well, you guys go out there and have a great day. And like I said 18 years ago, I absolutely stand behind it now. On the back of the book is every world is a brand new day of opportunity. Go out there and do it. Get it done. Today's going to be better than yesterday. And thanks for watching.